of the color excepting this bottom bar is on the side. So if you wanted to cover this with washi and ignore these numbers, you totally could, and it would be fun. This is actually a really neutral planner, and I am really digging it. Hi everybody, today I am taking a look at the Savor Life Planner, the My Next 90 Days Planner. Not My Next 90 Days. The planner is called My Next 90 Days. The people at Savor Life Planner sent this to me. They reached out and were like, you want to take a look at our planner? And I was intrigued because it's not a yearly planner. It's a 90-day goal-setting kind of planner. And I've heard, and I've seen other ones of those here and there, and it just is a concept that I'm super interested in right now. On top of that, I have been on the lookout for my best wellness possibility, my best wellness planner possibility, and I figured this could be a good one to go with. I've had it for about a month. This is the first time I've actually looked at it. I've glanced at the cover, but I haven't actually gone into the planner. So we're going to look at this together. And like I said, they sent this to me, but this is not sponsored. I'm giving you my honest opinions on it. Looking at the website, there is some information there. It comes in 6 different cover options. The one I got is the pink champagne because it's got the rose gold kind of beautifulness to it, and I love it. It is a 90-day planner. It says it's got vision worksheets, reflection sheets, thought starters, prompts. Hi, kitty. Week at a glance, extra pages, stickers. It's 8x10 with a flexible cover for easy traveling, inspirational quotes, and more. And it was designed by the Vogue art director. Okay. Anyway, the company I think behind this is also a beauty company. They also sell beauty products. So this planner is $29.95 for the 90 days. And as for shipping, as best as I could figure for ground shipping, it's $6.95 from where I live. They didn't have a shipping frequently asked questions or anything on their website, so I wasn't able to determine if it changes based on other spots or whatever. So $6.95, and then you have $30 second day shipping or something. So yes, $29.95 and potentially $7 for shipping. So this is the planner. It didn't say how many pages it had or anything about the paper quality or anything, so I'll have to do my best guess. The cover is flexible. You can bend it like this. It's got that wire O kind of binding, and it's a relatively small binding considering it's a relatively thin planner. The actual cover feels like a flexible kind of cardboard covered in a soft kind of situation. It's not leather. It's definitely not leather. And I kind of scratched it just by scratching it like that. But it's got some kind of a soft cover on the outside, and then the inside has a piece of a paper cover that's glued down, and you can feel it here. So there's already some kind of chunks here from where it bonked things. So I would not say it's the most durable cover, but it is a beautiful cover. This pink champagne is lovely. This is just a very pretty planner, but it's not, I would not give it the thumbs up of Crash Test Dummies kind of a situation. Opening it up, we have the first page this planner belongs to and the date, which I'm assuming is probably a big thing since this is a 90-day planner. It's also undated, I should add. Now the paper feels like the nicer printer paper, I think. We'll see how it goes. Here is a self-care tip with some flowers, a beautiful picture. And then here is a story from the founder of the planner about her passion for beauty and everything else. And this page says, this planner is made up of 4 components: Savor Life, 90-day vision, weekly daily rituals, and organize your gorgeous chaos. I don't know if I have ever described my chaos as gorgeous, but whatever. I do like that these look like whole music notes. For those of you who can read music, these look like whole notes, don't they? This is F, A, C, and E, which makes sense, I guess, because it was from a beauty company, Face. So we're going to look at all of these: Savor Life, 90-day vision, weekly daily rituals, and organize your gorgeous chaos. So then here is Savor Life. How do I want to savor life? What do I want to experience? What do I want to create and accomplish? How do I want to feel? And then little savors for daily: meeting with a friend for coffee, having a picnic with loved ones, shopping for shoes, getting a facial, hosting a dinner party. These are for daily things that you can do to savor. And then bigger savors are vacation in Hawaii, buying a home, getting the next professional level, volunteering for charities, or writing a book. These are, I guess, meant to be things that are fulfilling in your life, ? Question mark? And at the bottom it says, don't forget self-care. Put yourself at the top of the list so you feel good and give to others from a cup that overflows. Now there's a tab here that also says Savor Life. This page feels slightly more cardstocky. It's not cardstock. It's thinner than that, but it's heavier weight than the rest of the planner. And the tab comes out of the top, and the top, this like section here, is laminated. The next page, Who Am I? It says that when you are not clear who you are, you spend energy covering up your brilliance. When you get clear on who you are, you attract your ideal relationships and experiences into your life. Think through one or all questions. Do this activity with others. What do I value? What's important to me? What comes naturally to me? Talents. What do I enjoy doing? I am my best self when I am not my best self when I. What shifts do I want to make in the next 90 days? With whom do I want to connect or collaborate? And then down here on the bottom, what is my why? Why am I doing this? When you are clear on your why, you create purposeful plans, conscious relationships, and intentional experiences. So that is kind of the Savor Life component here to try and figure out who you are and why you want to do things. I feel like, for me, these questions are too vague. I've actually had to do some other stuff recently where I think through like why I do things. And I know that sometimes questions are left vague on purpose to help you kind of find what comes up in your mind. But for me, this is a little vague. However, for people who find things like the power sheets to be too in-depth when it comes to asking yourself questions, this may be a really great tool. Generally speaking, I think I would be better with more vague, but since this year and doing the power sheets, I'm kind of like, too vague for me. But I think if you are not somebody who wants to go quite that deep, you don't want to go that hardcore into your shit. You want to just think about what comes to your mind and try to form that into something, that this might be really helpful. Then now we're at the 90-day vision. Looking back, looking forward, reflect on the last 90 days and answer the following questions to inspire your next 90-day vision. What have I learned in the last 90 days? What do I want to do differently? What's flowing in the last 90 days? What's not flowing in the last 90 days? Oh my God. If you listen to my podcast with my sister that I did back in like January, we joked around about the concept of flow and how we both kind of could not wrap our heads around it. We both found it a little silly. So it amuses me to see it in here. I think that for me, if I stepped into this planner for the first time, thinking back over the last 90 days would be a little bit difficult because I haven't been thinking in 90-day increments. I've been planning business-wise quarterly, but I've been looking at my life and my goals more on a bigger kind of scale. And so for me, trying to do this today would be a problem. But if I did this whole planner for 90 days and I was thinking, so I'm guessing that if you do this planner once and then you pick up another one to do it again, that this is going to be a really helpful page. In the next 90 days, my personal mantra is, and it adds the caveat that a mantra is a conscious affirmation intention of how we want to feel. In 90 days, I want to manifest. I will focus on the following activities. How can I add more self-care and soul care into my life? Now, I mentioned in a previous video that I was watching a channel called Heart Breathings. She also does her planning on a 90-day basis and uses the Kanban method to break things down and use Post-it notes or whatever. And I would imagine if you were using a method similar to that, then this section here would be the area of your goals that you're focusing on. Like, these are how you want to feel, or how you want to get things, but then this is the actual meat of the work, and that's where you would break it down. This feels very like you're going to manifest and the good vibrations and all of that, which is not something I generally ascribe to. But if you are someone who does, then let me know so I can know if this feels like a good planner for you in the comments. Seeds. Planting seeds is an action that has growth potential. If you plant seeds, they will blossom into an abundant garden. Whenever you commit to a proactive task, such as connecting with new people, sending out a proposal, or applying for a new opportunity, this is a planted seed. The more you plant, the more you grow professionally and personally. Carve out an hour at the beginning of your 90 days to create a list of new seeds to plant. Refer to your list daily. This is something I want to incorporate into my bullet journal. Whether I use this planner or not, I want to do this because I have had on my list to listen to and reach out to a shit ton of podcasts to try and get to be guests. So if you guys have any suggestions for podcasts you think I would be a good guest on, as opposed to me bringing them onto my podcast, although it could go both ways, This is something I need to force myself out of my comfort zone to do. And this is a perfect kind of way of tracking that, saying, okay, these are all the people I want to reach out to. So these are the seeds I'm going to plant over the next 90 days. I love this. Savor tip. So this is about a raspberry having a bunch of seeds. And this is the beauty serum that they sell. I see what you did there. All right. Weekly daily rituals. We're on to part 3. This reminds me of the Cultivate What Matters back when they did the power sheets a couple years ago when the gardening motif was like super heavy duty. It's not quite so gardeny now, but it was then, and this is reminding me of that. Detox your brain. Basically a brain dump, it's saying. Number 1, define 3 priorities. So this looks like it's supposed to be a ritual. I think this is meant to be weekly. Okay, so this is weekly and daily. So these are things you're supposed to do weekly and daily, and I think that they're explaining them for the planner itself. So they want you to do these things weekly and daily. Brain dump, basically. Define 3 priorities. It says here you should do this as Sunday ritual. Light a candle, sip on tea, turn on your favorite music, ease into your week with a plan in place. Okay. Savor life daily. Create the habit of savoring life daily and enjoying the process. Refer back to your savor list that you worked on to commit to one pleasurable activity by writing it down and making it happen. 3, structure your day. Structure the day like you would organize your closet. So think of time like a container and put tasks into time containers. So like block scheduling, basically, I'm assuming. Pull weeds. These tasks are often the things we don't want to do, like pulling weeds from a garden. For example, your least favorite weeds of the day may be paying bills, scheduling appointments, running errands. So they're not saying to not do them. They're saying do them first. I appreciate that. I paid a bunch of bills today. Plant seeds. Planting seeds is an action that has growth potential. So this is having you go back to your seed list and do some of that every day or every week or whatever. And this is the My Plan. Like looking at this is all fairly like, this is all stuff. None of this is new to me, but I like that it's all in one spot, especially I feel like okay, let me rephrase. I feel like where I'm at right now with this planner, just at what I've looked at, that this is not a planner for somebody who has run the gamut of 85 different planners like I have. Like if you have done the power sheets, or you have done the Inkwell Press, and you have done the Happy Planner, and you have done all these different planners, some of this stuff may feel old hat to you. But for somebody who is still trying to like dip their toes in, so far, this seems like a really constructive way to kind of enter into planning your life and designing your life, because it's kind of laying it out for you in black and white in a fairly simple and easy to understand metaphor. So far. All right, My Plan is the next section, and this looks like a monthly layout. So you have 3 months, which makes sense because it's a 90-day planner. These monthly layouts are undated. The weekends are shaded pink. You have your spot for your month name. You have 5 weeks for the month, and then you have a notes column running down the side. This is nice and big. That's one of the reasons I like bigger planners. I love how nice and girthy the monthly layouts can be. And now we're into the weekly layouts. Oh, this is interesting. They've got all of the steps that they just laid out here, numbered on the week. I really like that. This reaffirms my idea that this planner would be great for somebody who's still trying to figure their shit out, which could be all of us in some ways. Anyway, week 1, week of, there's the date. What inspires me? Write collage, sketch it here, and then there's a little quote here on the bottom. The first step, detox your brain. It gives you a spot for a brain dump. All of your stuff to throw here, and then it gives you a spot to delegate it if it's not something you need to do, which I appreciate that as somebody who needs to delegate more. Number 1, define 3 priorities. That's here. Number 2, highlight a Savor Life activity from the list you create in your visions. That's the third step. I'm confused because it started with 0. And it looks like each week, each numbered week starts with a number up here. So this is week 1, and there's a week 1 tab here. And this page feels like that same cardstocky. This one is like the printer paper. This is the cardstocky. Now we're on to the weekly layout. You get Monday through Friday as full days, and then you get a weekend, which is divided up into 2 sections. I've talked about this in multiple videos. I wish that they would give full days to both weekend days, because I dislike how the weekend, like I've heard the rationale that the reason you're supposed to have, like, people like to do columns for the weekends where it's one like Saturday, Sunday column, is because that encourages you to not fill your weekends up. But for me, whether I'm working outside the home or working for myself, there are weekends where my entire weekend is filled up. And so this just, and also not everybody has a Monday through Friday job. Just throwing that in there. This is my soapbox I get on in every planner video that has a combined weekend. It's not just this planner. It's all planners. So for 3, you have structure your day, and it has lines, and there's no hours. So you could use this as a running list. You could use this as hourly if you wanted to. If you wanted to do this hourly, there are 14 lines. So you could do 7 half hours, 7 hours worth of half hours, or 14 hours of single hours. Or you don't have to do it hourly at all. But it does have lines. I know that there are some people who love having lines in their planner. And it also has a spot on the top to date it. And then here, number 4, pull weeds. There are spots for 3 things that you have to get done that you don't want to get done. And on the weekend, a total of 3 things. And then for planting seeds, these are the like we already talked about, the seeds, the things that move your business or your life forward. Those are the things you put here. And then this is successes, gratitude, or self-care down here on the bottom with a checkbox. You could also use it for meal planning if you wanted to. I like this. I like that this is nice and like there's a lot here, but you don't have to follow these steps if you don't want to. You could use these as like your 3 meals for the day or something else. You could totally adapt this to what you wanted. And that all of the color, excepting this bottom bar, is on the side. So if you wanted to cover this with washi and ignore these numbers, you totally could, and it would be fun. This is actually a really neutral planner, and I am really digging it for that case. So then the next week, wow, you get a lot. You get a lot for this week. Oh, this is making my heart happy as somebody who loves all the things. Holy shit. Okay, so then number 4, organize your gorgeous chaos. I was wondering when that was going to happen. Extra daily to-dos, notes, meal planning, and projects. You have 6 columns here, and you have a space on the top to write the day, and you can circle whichever day it is. It's got Monday through Sunday on every single one of these, so you can do one for every day. Again, there's only enough room for 6 days, or you could split it up, do this, and then these as separate days. But you have a dot grid kind of situation, and then you have a blank situation, and none of them are dated, and none of them have even one day of the week, like Monday, assigned to it. You get to decide that yourself. Extra daily to-dos, notes, meal planning, projects. You can use this to organize all your shit. Again, very neutral and very flexible. And then here is also organize your gorgeous chaos. Containers for thoughts, meetings, projects, ideas, visioning, and doodling. And you get 8 of these boxes. They have a header and then a very, very faint dot grid here in the thing. And it's actually a soft pink dot grid. And over here, the dot grid is like little plus signs, and they're gray. So you could do your whole week here and have one extra. You could use this for thoughts and projects into containers. So like a well-organized closet, like they said. So you could have like work, and then you could have family, and then you could have, I don't know, your husband or your wife or your polyamorous family. I don't know, whatever. You know, you could put your different categories here. That's really interesting. And then there are 2 blank lined note pages. You get all of that for 1 week? Holy shit. Okay, hold on. Let's try this again. Let's look again. Week 1, you have this like visiony area. You have your brain dump. You have your priorities and your Savor Life. You've got your weekly spread with all of your different shit. You've got a to-do list sort of spread. You've got this containers page. Holy shit. Well, okay. I'm sorry if I sound super blown away, but that's like, I was wondering why it was so thick for 90 days. That's really hardy. Okay, let me think about this here. So we go into the next week, and I want to just see if there's any differences. The quote is different. So that's the end of week 12, which brings you to 84 days. And then they give you 1 extra week that's not numbered, which is exactly the same as the other weeks. You have all the same pieces as you do. Like this is like the overflow week of your 90 days. And then when you get to the end here is a little gratitude page from the person who created the planner. And then you have several dot grid notes pages with that light gray little plus sign, and you have several lined note pages. In the back, you have this looking back, looking forward, which is the same thing at the front of the planner with the what have I learned, what do I want to do differently, and the flow situation. It's here as well. So I'm assuming if you got one of these and wanted to go to the next one, you could do this work and then copy it to the next planner. And then you have a bunch of stickers that there's like these little tiny hearts and stars, smiley faces. I am learning, I am magical, I am grateful, I am inspired, and I am amazing. And then these ones which look like they could be times or they could be something else. There's a whole bunch of these. It looks to me like some of them are cut slightly off kilter. Like the sticker itself is not centered. And it's that glossy-ish kind of vinyl-y, not vinyl, but like, yeah, they're like a shiny kind of sticker. Back here you have a paper kind of folder, and then you get to the back cover, which has the brand name on it, and that is the end of the planner. So I'm going to test the paper quality. The gel pen is the Uniball Signo, the felt tip pen is the Pilot Fineliner, and the brush pen is the Tombow dual brush pen. And I am heavy-handed. You know, this is not bad for how thin this paper feels. It wrote down really nicely, didn't seem to smear. There is ghosting, most definitely, with the Tombow, but it's not bleeding through. And there is that ridge that happens with gel pens very prominently on this paper. The felt tip has a little bit of it. The gel pen is basically like a relief. Like you could like the word is basically imprinted on the other side. So I would suggest either using like a pencil board or something to soften your writing, or using a felt tipped type pen or a ballpoint pen. I think might be better than a like fine tip gel pen for this. Okay, so my overall thoughts on the planner. When I first saw the price of this, $29.95, part of me was like, that's pricey, especially for how skinny it is. But now that I'm looking at it, I mean, if you're going to buy this for your whole year, it's like for every quarter, you're going to be buying 4 of these. It's going to wind up being $120. However, if you actually are going to make use of this extensive weekly section, you're actually going to make use of all of the tools in this planner, I think this could be really handy. I'm kind of not wanting to give this away. As much as some of the upfront work in here is not really my thing, it's kind of a little woo-woo for me, and yet not quite specific enough. I could take a lot of what I've already learned from other work I've done and apply it to this and utilize this for like a 90-day sprint. I wouldn't use this for right now while I'm finishing the book. I don't have time for this shit. I've talked about it in a recent video that I'm using planning as a procrastination tool right now because I'm so stressed out. After the book is published, when I want to start exploring Skillshare and potentially opening a print shop for some of my artwork, this could be really helpful to get me through that. So I'm thinking about using it. And if I do use it, I'd love to know if you'd like to see me do videos on how I'm using it maybe once a month or something. I'd love to know your thoughts on this planner, because I went into this thinking that's pretty, and then I started flipping through it and thought that's not going to be for me, but that's going to obviously be for someone else, so I'm going to give it away, to getting through the weekly pages and thinking, fuck no, I want to give this a try. For all you planner nerds out there who have looked at all sorts of planners, I really want to know what you think about this 4-spread weekly section. I do. I want to know, because it's blowing my mind a little bit. Do I think it's worth looking at if this might be something you'd use? Absolutely, because I am fascinated by this, even with the weekend on one column. You know, I think I've found the solution to my weekend on one column soapbox. If a planner puts the weekend on one column and it's going to piss me off, the way to solve that is to add 2 more fucking spreads of stuff to write your shit down on. Then I wouldn't have to worry about it. I'm just saying, I think they solved how I can get down with a planner with the weekend on one column. I'm just saying. Anyway, I'd love to know from you in the comments planners that you would like me to take a look at. I'm not looking at all of the releases this time around because a lot of them don't seem to be that different from what they were before, so it doesn't really seem obvious to me to go and purchase them and look at them. But if there is one that you're interested in, please let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video.